have something to.
Okay. And so, yeah, there's a creek not too
Hey,
far
Rick.
from here, but we didn't
Hey,
have any
Chris.
problem. We were good.
Here,
Where am I? Okay.
But David just had a dog die, and that's sad.
oh,
Um,
that's a
the six
that's a
years,
tough one.
yeah, in the 6 years we've been here, we've lost four, and it's yeah, it's kind of rough, but we love them. We love them, and hopefully we gave them a good home for a few years at least.
Hey,
What
Chris,
what?
how you doing?
Yeah.
Chris, are you? Oh, that's right. You haven't left yet. You're still home.
Yeah, I'm still home until 2 days after Christmas.
Okay, gotcha. I thought you were in Rome, and it looked like the home. So,
Yeah, little twist.
did we lose Snake? I guess we did. Well, Billy had open heart surgery yesterday,
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
and I heard from his wife that the operation went good, but I haven't heard from him today, so I don't know what's going on. He's probably not. I don't know if he's not awake or what, but
yeah.
the hard
He's
part
awake,
about
but
it,
they're giving him good morphine. If they're lucky, if they did what I did, they just gave me lots. I said, just bring me all the drugs you can bring me, and I'll be fine for a couple of days.
well, were
And
you
they did, and
scheduled
it was
6 years ago? Were you scheduled? Like, did you have like 2 weeks before you had the surgery, or did they just take you in and do it?
no. I had a heart attack, and the emergency room guy said we need to coordinate a bypass right now. But they gave me this new drug that thins the blood. And when they called the thoracic surgeon, the guy was actually going to do it. He said, "No, you got to wait 2 weeks to get this out of your system. This stuff is so good at thinning your blood. If I make a tiniest of mistakes, you'll bleed out."
Oh my
And
gosh.
I don't want that.
Wow.
And essentially, he said, "I don't want that on my record. So you got to wait 2 weeks out of your system." And I said, "Good call."
Well, Billy
Because
had
I
to
don't want
wait.
to bleed out either.
Yeah. You haven't heard
Billy
any
had to
more
wait
from
like 3 weeks or something. And hey, Emily,
Hi.
and he
Hey,
um Emily, I was just telling everybody that Billy had open heart surgery yesterday.
Yeah.
I knew that, and I'm dying to hear how he's doing. How's he
That's
Well,
doing?
I am too, because I talked to his wife yesterday, and she said after the surgery that he was doing good, but I haven't heard from him today or from her, so I don't know what's going on. But he
That's
had to
what,
wait like 3 weeks before he had the operation, and that was tough because we talked a lot,
wow.
and it's just like he kept thinking, he kept making the plans, like, well, here, Bonnie, here's the insurance, and here's the
Oh.
Oh, I know. No, that's just awful, isn't it? But
yeah,
he is so healthy and young, and he'll
yeah,
be
he is.
Uh,
But
Yeah.
so I hope
That's
he's doing
that's the
good.
latest I heard on him too. I haven't heard anything else. I've been trying on today, but I hadn't heard anything. I've tried, but
Yeah,
he's doing okay apparently.
I hope so.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I mean, supposedly the operation went good and he was fine. And
yeah.
yeah. Well, that's just routine now. That surgery.
Yeah.
Well, it's never routine when they take your heart out. I'm sorry, I had one of
I
those.
know.
I had some eye surgery. Was 20 minutes. That was routine. But when you're on the table for 9 hours and they take your heart out and take legs from your veins, I'm sorry, I don't buy the routine exactly.
Oh, good Lord, kid. My God, that's
hey, Barry,
what Bill had. What
What's
quadruple?
up, y'all?
quadruple.
Hey Barry.
Hey, it's
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Barry.
Say,
Hey, Barry.
What did you say, Ken?
All talking
That's
about
me.
Billy. Billy
Yeah.
had open heart surgery yesterday, and
Right.
hopefully he's. I heard yesterday he was doing good, but I haven't heard anything today.
yeah.
The elusive Kent McBride.
That's the elusive. Yes.
Yeah, Lucy.
Yep. Elusive, like the butterfly.
It's our open heart surgery expert. He knows all about it.
Yeah.
So
I
how's
wish
Bill
I
doing?
didn't, but I do.
Kid,
And
was
while
that
Billy was
bypass
getting surgery,
bypass you had also?
yeah, I had a quadruple bypass, same surgery.
Oh, just like
So I
that.
talked to Billy, and he was asking me all about it. And for me, the hardest time was waiting the 2 weeks between when they told me I had to do it,
Yeah.
because you don't know, and so you don't know what you don't know, and so then I had to work really hard to keep my mind from imagining the worst. I had to keep imagining the best.
Yeah.
And then I had to break myself with Googling all the shit that could go wrong because I kind of believe that we do form our own reality. And so I formed the reality that I was going to be fine and that the recovery was going to be fine. And it was.
Oh,
I mean, it was. I would not recommend it unless you have to have it.
yeah,
But
you had pictures of you walking in the hospital a couple of hours afterwards or a day or two
well,
after,
it was
or
the next day they got
next
me up
day?
and they said,
Wow.
if you can, and I said, give me some drugs because I do. It felt the chest feels weird when it's got 18 staples in it, and it's not stable yet. And so
Oh,
I said, but hell, what's it going to take to get me back on my feet as quick as possible? And they said, as soon as you can move and tolerate the pain. I said, just give me some more pain. And I actually gave me more pain pills when I went for the first walk. And I said, this is shit. I could do this all day. I don't feel anything. Said, could I take a gallon of these home with me? I'll be fine. So it's
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you, Snake.
Hey, Snake.
I've been having trouble with my audio.
We got you.
Yeah, well, Emily, I just got a message that you were having trouble getting on.
I'm
I don't-
sorry. Forget about it. Forget about it.
I
found
figured that because I saw you, but I don't know I don't know how hard it is to get on or not because
it's not. It came up after the last one, so
good.
yeah, it's fine.
Well, I was going through pictures to send to Dick, and I sent some to Dick already.
Mhm.
Dick tried to get on the Zoom yesterday, and so hopefully he makes it today.
it was close.
But I was going through the pictures, and I found this picture, which I had never seen. I had seen it on the the ads, but I thought, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's when he had put on all those shirts, all those T-shirts.
Oh, he got
Yeah.
put on everything. The mugs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true. That's great.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought that was good. Then I thought, okay, let me get rid of that. You guys got to put up with me. There's no Billy today, so I'm a little slower.
Ed, are you still in Boulder?
I'm in, I just moved from where I'd been for 14 years in the north part of Arvada, about 9/10 of a mile. So I'm technically in Westminster, just off at kind of 88th and Wadsworth area. So.
Okay, so this is the other picture that I was trying to figure out.
That guy's name was Ken.
My gosh.
He was from New York, and I think that's Mardi Gras in '73 outside the Mustache in New Orleans.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a Schlitz beer, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
So Ken is the guy in the
In the tablecloth.
Okay.
Right,
I don't know who the other guy is.
Ken from New York. I remember him.
Yeah. That was Mardi Gras in '73, because I've got another picture of him standing like that in right in front of the door to the Mustache.
At first, I thought you said that was Kent, and I went, "Well,
No.
shit, I don't remember that."
No,
Must have been a good
I
Mardi
did a lot
Gras.
of weird shit, but I don't remember that one.
hey, I was in New Orleans for six days and slept about 12 hours, and I remember a fair amount, but not more than a fair amount.
Oh, you overslept, huh?
Yeah, a lot of drugs.
Drugs? Who did drugs in the 70s?
Oh, a lot of beer.
No, that's
Yeah,
right.
thank you.
Okay, so then I was trying to figure out who the girl is playing the banjo.
That have been Penny.
Probably Penny.
I never met her, but
Fuller.
yeah, I don't remember what her name was.
Joe
before she was
Terra,
Ron
Mike
Fuller.
Swan, Penny Fuller, David Lewis, and I can't remember the trombone, Joe Cool or something like that.
Well, she looked like she was having a good time, so
Yeah.
She was married to the manager at the time,
Ron Fuller.
Ron Fuller.
I went to high school with him.
yeah.
She was married to Ron Fuller. And the tuba player, David Lewis, he's the guy that had he loved little boys and trains.
Whoa.
Little boys in trains, huh? That doesn't sound too good.
That's like too much information.
Too much information.
I bet he's having a good time on the internet right now.
Oh, Lord. Well,
All right. So, what's everybody doing for the holidays?
Nothing,
nothing.
haven't for years.
When are you leaving, Chris?
I leave just after Christmas,
For a couple
and
months?
then I'll be there until the end of February and head back. We do something here that I've been doing, well, I don't know how many years now, maybe 40 some odd years. We call it Cookies and Carols, and we ask people to. It's like an open house. You just come, and if you want, you can bring a few cookies. If you play an instrument, you should bring it with you. And we've had everything from 15 people to like 100 people come in and out of the house. There are people who come and tell me that in January they'll call me and go, "Boy, that party was great," and I'm sitting there going, "You were there?"
Oh, sounds like Mardi Gras.
Yeah, and all we do is we sing Christmas carols, both sort of the more religious ones and the very secular ones. Have yourself a merry Christmas, and it takes a little Christmas. We need a little Christmas, and we have these songbooks, and you could just go through them and pick one out. If you're the loudest voice, then everybody follows along with what you're doing.
Are you playing the banjo then, or are you just singing?
Oh, I'm usually playing the banjo, yeah. But we've had all kinds of instruments, violins and trombones and trumpets and clarinets and accordions, and not always playing at the same time, but they sort of chime in and whatnot. And then the dining room is just filled with cookies, and the kitchen is filled with things to drink. Nothing alcoholic. We don't do alcohol with kids there, so it's just like hot cocoa, coffee, tea, eggnog, sodas, and stuff like that. And people help themselves. And the big part of the job for that is setting it all out. I just got to get it up from the basement and put it out on the table. And then people bring, I always tell people, bring only as many cookies as you would eat. And nobody follows that advice. So I have to buy these cooking containers so that at the end of the evening, everybody gets to take home more cookies than they brought. I don't know how that works out, but it does.
Sounds like a great evening, Chris.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So if you're in the neighborhood,
bring some
We'll
cookies.
all be there.
Come on over. Yeah. I won't even know you're there. I just sit on the radiator in the far corner over there.
Play your banjo.
And play the banjo. With anybody singing, I'm playing. So that's our big fun for the holiday.
That's like fun, yeah.
Chris's butt warmer band for the holidays instead of the feet warmers band.
The radiators are nice for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm going to North Louisiana because my Emily's niece, who's 13, has the same birthday as I do, which is the 30th of December. And we're just going down there to visit her for her birthday. So
Great.
For Christmas.
we can go to one of those Trump areas.
What town? What town, Tom?
Bastrop. Bastrop,
Say that again.
Louisiana, right outside of Monroe.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
hey,
Hey,
Roger.
Roger.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hey, Roger.
What's going
I
on?
hope you use that term loosely, right?
Hey, Roger.
Hey, howdy. Oh, we got quite a crew here today.
It's the holiday season.
That's right. Cheer, spread the cheer.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ah, humbug.
No
Well, did you
humbug.
see the invitation? I had the Arizona time on it.
What's that?
On the invitation, I put 5 p.m. Eastern Standard and 3 p.m. Arizona.
No,
Because I looked it up.
that's good because we never know what time it is down here. You know, it's either
Yeah.
hot or cold. It's not very cold. It's a beautiful day out today.
Yeah, this time of year, Rogers, Arizona, and Colorado are on the same time.
Yeah.
The summertime, we're not.
Oh,
That's true.
That's weird.
that's right.
Well, all this, daylight savings time is a bunch of bananas anyway.
Yeah.
It was
I like
supposed to help the students get to school on time, I guess, or something, when it's first invented. Now nobody knows what time it is wherever they are.
No, it was built so people could work their kids on the farm later in the day. That's what it was made
Oh.
for. I know. I grew up on a farm. That was the absolute reason. You got more hours at night to shovel
did-
shit and feed the turkeys. So
Elon
Did
wants to
Vince
change
Farm
it.
used to have turkeys on it. I was
you bale hay? Go out and pick it up in the field and throw it up in the truck?
Yep.
yeah, hell yes,
Yeah, I did that for a while. That was insane.
a lot of fun. We
Yeah,
raised
right.
turkeys.
When
We
I
raised
was
turkeys.
Turkeys?
So we had turkeys, cattle, and horses. Turkeys were the cash crop. We're literally organic range-fed turkeys, range-fed, free range in a big pen, 3 or 4,000 at a time, 30,000 a year. Nothing more fun than getting up at 5 in the morning and scraping shit and feeding turkeys before you go to school. That's about as much fun in life as you can have.
yeah, but you told me about that time when they got sick. And
Oh
you-
yeah, that was fun. Yeah, they had sinusitis, and if you don't kill the ones that are sick, I mean, this is truly a Darwinian story. But if you don't kill the ones that are sick quickly, out of 3 or 4,000, it infects the whole herd, and you're lost. So my brother and I were given baseball bats, and we went out in the fields, and our sole mission for the day was to kill
Oh,
Wow.
with a baseball bat as many turkeys that were sick. And it was both fun and horrifying at the same time. I was about 14 probably. And then you put them in a big pit that the backhoe dug and covered them with lime, and you buried them and hoped that it didn't infect the other pens and stuff.
Wow.
I mean, it was survival of the fittest.
Is that where the bird flu came from?
No, this was in the 60s, so I don't know. Maybe it did.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it just took a while to get there. I don't know, but it was. Like I said, it was both fun and it was not fun at the same time. Probably some bad karma I built up somewhere. But
I helped pick the hay up off of the ground and throw it up in the truck. Then when we got to the barn, I had to go to the top because I was the smallest guy and stack it way up at the top. And that was like insane. I didn't get much per bale. I forgot what it was. Maybe a nickel or something. I don't know.
My first job off the farm hauling hay, because I was pissed at my dad and didn't want to do it with him anymore, was 2 cents a bale or $2 an hour.
Yeah, that sounds right. I
Of
only
course,
did
gas
that
was a quarter a gallon too, so it wasn't.
Really?
yeah, when Kent
At
and I
Eddie's
left,
feeding station.
when Kent and I left for California, we were out of Joplin. It was 29 cents a gallon.
wow.
That's
Yeah. The thing is, when the price was that cheap, there'd be a gas war going on. The guy down the street would maybe sell it 2 or 3 cents cheaper, and people would actually drive somewhere to save a couple pennies.
Well, a couple of pennies were worth something.
Yeah, well, a penny was worth a penny, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or more, it seemed like. But
I worked in a filling station then, and you'd go out to the car and ask all the questions, fill her up, check your oil, your air, and all this stuff. And I carried the money in my pocket, and the guy would just pay me in bills, and I'd pay him back. Then I'd go back and decide where the manager's hanging out and give him the money. It was
I just remember
interesting fun.
at the end of high school and in college, I had a little Volkswagen Beetle, and it cost
Humphreys.
usually costs $3 to fill it up. But that was a lot of money at the time.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and we're making probably $2 an hour or $400 a month. So
$2.11 an hour.
yeah,
It was cheap. Yeah.
in the early '60s, I was making $1 an hour as a part-time manager at a McDonald's in Aurora and playing rock and roll at night. It was a good job, free food.
And when I first got to New Orleans from Independence, Missouri, I think I had $25, and I I got a rooming house down at the Rampart on Esplanade, which is no longer there. Real cheap, and the bathroom was down at the end of the hall.
Yeah, Kent and I, when we got to New Orleans, we got an apartment on Desire Street.
Uh,
A s-
yeah.
streetcar named Desire.
I remember that. Remember when they had the race riots because the guy shot people from Howard Johnson's there?
Oh,
Yes.
And I forget his name, but there was this cop we had met through Barbara, and he came to our house and told us to get out of that neighborhood or we would die.
Mm.
And so we left and went to Barbara's house for a while, but until that went south, but that's another story. Till the police came to her house and then we had to leave. So it's crazy.
Well, you have to be careful of the stories you carry with you when you leave the South.
Well, when you leave New Orleans, for sure.
Oh yeah, well, it's a small group of people you can share that with. And you start talking to the other people, and they go, what are you talking about?"
My kids have asked me repeatedly, "Tell me some more New Orleans stories," and I've told them all the ones I can. I can't tell them the rest of them.
Yeah,
How do you tell your daughter about the Keith Orston Award?
yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness, the things we did and enjoyed.
Maybe on my deathbed, maybe, or in my memoirs published after I leave.
It's been 47 years or so since you moved to Denver, Kent.
47 years.
That's right. Yeah.
1977, open Houlihan.
77. That's right.
Wow.
When we first came in 73, we stayed at your house over on Josephine for
Yeah.
a
It's a
while.
hell of a good house.
That was a hell of a good house. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Great
love
party
it.
house, man.
Yeah.
That was a great house.
Yeah, $150 a month, and we had 8 or 10 people living there.
That made it
Sorry.
affordable.
2 stories with a basement, all 3 converted to 3 apartments. So we had it made in those days, but
That's what you call affordable housing.
yeah. Except in the wintertime, the damn heat was about $400 because there's no insulation in the place.
Oh,
But what the hell? It was great.
yeah.
That was like that house on Esplanade, that big white house. A lot of people from the Mustache lived over there, and I first lived there, and Joanne Clevenger lived upstairs above me, and that's how I run into her and turned the bar at the Intellect. She wanted, so I gave it to her, and she named it Andy's.
Yeah.
But all kinds of Mustache people live there. We used
Yeah,
to
Barry
park.
Kaiser lived there, I think.
Fred lived there, didn't he? I think so.
Fred lived there for a while.
Yeah.
I think
Bob Osborne lived there.
Bob Osborne lived
Bob
there.
Osborne, yeah.
Yeah, he lived there.
Remember that house? It was a nice house.
And we parked the fire truck out back. I tell people I got a picture of the fire truck hanging them out of a little room here. So, what do you do with that fire truck? I said, oh, that's my company car.
Our fire truck in Denver in the summer of 1970 I didn't even own a car. That was my whole transportation all summer.
Oh, yeah.
And I wish I had pictures of that. It was a 1936 American La France, but I don't have any pictures. We don't have many pictures from the Denver Club, unfortunately.
Wow.
There's
Hold on.
Mardi Gras.
Look at
There's
that
Mardi-
picture.
What year? You know?
I don't know. But I think,
In the 70s, probably.
yeah. Except they have the cars in the street. That's strange.
Oh, yeah, they
crazy.
sure do.
Try to drive your car down that street's nuts. People ask me about New Orleans. I said, "What do you want to go to New Orleans, or do you want to see Mardi Gras?" That's
They're
a different world.
I'm trying to have some problem with my computer.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay,
Are you on?
yes.
Is there a number for?
That's Dick. Dick is the guy who's Joel's friend.
Ask Tom. I'll ask Tom and see if he can call you. Okay.
I can't go that direction.
Okay.
He
Richard,
has to call in.
I'm gonna have him call you.
Okay, great.
Um,
Tom?
yeah, I don't, Emily, I can't call and connect.
Oh, you can't.
He has to call into Zoom.
Oh, can you tell me the number?
Yeah, give me a second. I'll find it.
Okay, sorry to
Buddy,
interrupt.
talk and do your thing and let me figure this out.
Technology.
Did you get my text last week?
Maybe.
I mentioned that Hormel, who owns Chi-Chi's, is going to start reopening Chi-Chi's restaurants next year.
I can't wait.
Yeah, that brings back a couple of memories.
I tried to block those, Michael. Thank you. But
I'm just a mean old fart in my old age, man.
that's right. Yeah. It was fun. I bought a lot of stock in Chi-Chi's when it was going up. I bought right before I bought it at its high, and then I sold not as low as others did because they really fucked the company up. But so I only lost a couple bucks a share. But I had some friends who worked there who lost $20, $30, $40 a share as they went bankrupt. Kelly Johnson did.
I remember when you and Ron Fuller were working for that company, and I got hired at a Chi-Chi's over here on Mississippi Avenue in Aurora, and it's been a senior at Rick's for years. A really excellent restaurant. But I was on the bar crew.
That's right.
And they had Joe Kelly's Oyster Dock next door.
Yep. Back in the old, that was a long time ago.
Around the early 1980s.
I barely remember that.
Hey, Kent, last week we were trying to figure out what was the mustache called once it reopened. The mustache on Bourbon Street. Once it reopened, there was 2 or 3 places. You remember?
Nope, I was gone. I was in Denver then, so I didn't. Once I left in '77, I didn't go back to New Orleans till I spoke at a conference there in 1997. I wasn't back for 20 years because I was off doing other shit. So I don't remember.
It was 2 or 3 different names.
Yeah.
What is the one it is now?
Yeah, it was a seafood
From the
place.
mustache to now, there was 2 or 3 different operations.
What location you talk about, Barry?
No, 426 Bourbon.
Oh, it was, yeah. What were the locations names after the fire?
Yeah.
Working
Yeah,
on
what
it.
businesses that went in there after the fire until now.
Seaport something.
Seaport is one of them. That's right, Roger.
And I can't take the.
I think Seaport was the second name. They had one before Seaport.
I'm trying to think of that. Well, I've been back in there. We've probably all been back in there at different time periods over the years. It's funny, you can go in there, and when you first walk in, you used to walk over to the second window where we out there in Mardi Gras, and part of it you can look behind the wall and see the original wall in the red paint.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
That gives you creeps, no?
Well, I went back in '97. The first place when I was through doing my shit at the conference center, first place I went on Bourbon Street was back to 426 Bourbon because I wanted to see I forget what it was, a seafood place. I forget what it was called, and it felt, as they say, having deja vu all over again.
Yeah,
Yogi Berra used to say it was eerily strange,
Different,
to be back in there.
It's hard to go in there, and you could sit at the bar there, and that's where the Clarity used to be.
Oh.
And I took my youngest son and showed him around. We went up on the balcony and had some oysters and stuff. I just sit there and your mind starts tripping on you. But all the stuff we did there and the great things they had.
I remember Joel came to New Orleans once, and a big group met at whatever that place was, and had a luncheon. I mean, I think Fred was there, and I can't remember who all.
Emily, I just sent the invitation again to Dick.
You sent the invitation again?
Yeah, so it has the link and stuff on it.
Okay.
I don't have his phone number, so.
You have his phone number?
I don't have his phone number.
Well, do you want it?
Well, I could call him.
Okay, well, let me see. I'll call him and see if he's gonna connect.
Okay.
right?
Yeah, Milton, didn't Milton meet you guys there for
Yeah, he came in
lunch
that
once
after
and come
that.
out and tell
Banu
Roger
was
that he
there, and
just
David,
took a piss
were
in
you
his
there?
apartment?
No, I didn't make it. No.
Barry, I can't remember who all was there.
Yeah, I
Banu
was there. Milton went to the bathroom,
Yeah.
came back, and Milton said, "Fred, I just pissed in your office."
That's right. Well, Maynard was there. I remember that. And, there were a bunch of-
Maynard, Banu,
Banu, yeah.
Mike Gentry was there that day.
Mike, Fred.
Uh-huh. Bruce Melanson.
Yeah,
So-
Bruce was there. Yeah, I don't remember if Bill was there or not. I don't like.
He probably was. He usually is there.
Probably was. It was a pretty big crowd. I remember that.
Hey, Dick, you made
There
it.
he is.
I managed to luck through. Yes.
Okay. They're
So
waiting.
Dick, while you're on, you
Hi.
got to
Sorry to be late.
yeah, Dick, you got to send me the email for the Harvard guy that I'm supposed to send these pictures to.
Yeah.
There he is
The
right
reason I
there.
haven't sent that, Tom, is because they've changed the directors and they haven't appointed a new person. It's a very disorganized department. But I will send it to you as soon as I
Okay,
get
that sounds fine.
processes hiring these young girls out of school, and they all last about 3 months until they get a better job. That's one of the problems in that department.
Well, they need to hire Roger because he's used to handling young girls.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh.
guys.
Hey. Oh, Lord.
Well, anyway, nice to be seeing you all, and I'm going to put my hearing aids in and I'll be ready. I'm all set.
So, Tom, what pictures did y'all settle on to put in the magazine?
We
Yeah.
didn't settle on any. I just sent him everything I could find with Joel, and specifically the one with Joel and Jackie Gleason where Joel doesn't have any shoes on.
Yeah.
So I hope that they use that one. The one that's I'm having trouble finding the one of Joel outside of outside on Bourbon Street where he's standing there alone. But that one's not very good anyway because it's got reflections because somebody shot it. You know.
Got that Rizzo sign behind it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah. But there's
But
another
not
picture.
the picture that you sent, Tom, of the painting of Joe. That one we'll put in the body of the article, and we'll look to try to get them to do the whole page of one of the other pictures that we have in process at the moment.
Okay. This is all
Finding them, yeah.
this is Dick. Dick went to Harvard with Joel, and he's trying to get the Harvard magazine to do a feature about Joel. So that's what all the pictures and stuff are about.
That'd be sweet.
Do you want pictures of Joe inside the club or outside the
If you
club?
got some good pictures of him, that would be good.
Yeah. No, the thrust is most of the class doesn't realize what an impact Joel had worldwide.
Yes.
And we want to tell that story. I have reprints of many articles and notes from some of you that explain that Joe had a particular way of operating and trust in his people that led to a lifelong connection with all of you. And that's where the story lies because, you know, we've had people who've been big deals in business, but their memories didn't survive them. And Joe did something that was incredibly unique in terms of his ability to build a lasting relationship for all of you. And that's kind of the thrust of the story. And any thoughts you all have, just send me an email with your thoughts. But that's what we're trying to do is to tell the story of a man who was able to create a camaraderie that lasted, what now, 50 years?
50 some odd years.
More than that.
More than that. So we want to make sure that someone, the conductor of one of our orchestras said that you die twice. Once when they carry you away, and another when the last person who remembers you passes away. And Joel will live on indefinitely because of YFM.
I think the first club
Which
opened in
is
62.
totally unusual.
I think the first club opened around 62, so it's got to be 60, close to 65 years.
Yeah, I'm going to make a note of that.
So I know I started in
65.
Denver in 1970, and that's 55 years ago, 54 years ago. And the clubs have been open for 7 or 8 years before that.
Yeah.
So Dick's email is, if you go to the invitation and you look, there's a list of everybody that's been sent to, and his is the last email on there.
Okay.
What name is the email under?
What?
What is the email you're going to get the information off of? What name is that under?
Dick,
Because people have different names on the screen and that are not that.
You looking for my email or someone else's?
Yours.
Your email.
My email is Q as in Queen, B as in boy, red, RED 31 at gmail.com.
What was the last dot? What?
Gmail.com. QB red 31.
At Gmail?
At gmail.com. That's and a lot of my stuff has come in also through my business, which was Western Racket Club. I was in that entertainment business as well, and that's WRC Club at AOL.com.
Okay.
WR with 2 C's.
And Dick Roger Kenneman, he was the general manager of he did a lot of work for Joel for a long time. So Roger's a really good source for anything you want.
Yeah.
Joel and I had a great relationship. I was lucky to run into him on Bourbon Street one time. I was down there visiting Fred, but he was very trusting of me and sort of gave me the keys to his car and said, "Here, let's do this, let's do that," or we're getting ready to do a managers meeting. He said, "Okay, I'm going out of town." He said, "Joel, what about the managers meeting?" He said, "Oh, take care of it." I said, "Okay." Stuff like that. I traveled with him a lot. I had several pictures of him in the clubs, outside the clubs, stayed out at his farm, stayed at his house in New York, down in the Lower West Village. It was a great relationship, and I always feel fortunate that I was able to hang out with him that way.
Guys, I'm gonna have to take off. I got to run to Slidell, pick up my grandson. So
Rick,
tell everybody goodbye,
Rick.
including the elusive Kent. Good to see you.
Okay, Grandpa.
Yeah,
And
next
this
week.
Butterfly, Kent McBride.
Like,
Good to see you.
It's a butterfly.
Okay,
on
Rick,
a
see you
cloud.
next week.
Good to see you, Rick.
There's a good picture. That's in Chicago. When we opened the club in Chicago, it's very interesting. I was in Denver working at the time, getting that club going, hiring a manager, and Joe said, "We need to come to Chicago." I said, "Why?" Well, the manager got sick there. They didn't have anyone to get it going, so I drove my little MGB from Denver to Chicago and opened that club. And
You guys look so young.
Yeah, the Chicago club was a difficult time actually to open another club like that there because the Red Garter had been there for a long time. and they were extremely well established. And I went over and met the managers there and talked to them, and their place was always packed. But we were busy in the
Yeah.
beginning, like always. Just didn't last a long time.
Well, that's strange. Let me,
Hey, what year was that, Roger?
What year was
Yeah.
that? It's late 60s, probably 60s.
let's,
I was at Cape Cod in
it
65.
might be catching from me. 9,
What was that question?
I have 9. Well, I have the card upside down. That'd help. Okay.
That's normal.
929, 9256, 3209, 223. Yes. Yeah, I couldn't read it.
It's a good one.
Okay,
Yeah.
there's Billy Joel and Roger.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
A good band, Billy Joel and Roger.
yeah.
Great,
Really?
great.
That's a song, right?
Yeah.
We're a heavy metal band.
Heavy something.
Yeah.
When was that picture taken?
This is recently. This was
Two
this
years
the
ago?
this was the last reunion, right?
Haven, the New Haven reunion.
Yeah.
Up in New Haven.
Yeah.
That's the last time we got together.
Yep.
Hmm.
Okay, well, while we're at that, I had some other pictures that Michael liked. It's coming.
I'm the only one left.
Hmm.
Was
Was
that
that in New Haven and
Oh, that was
87?
Sacramento, California.
Oh, so okay.
Jazz Festival somewhere around 2000. It's Jerry Sacco on the left and Babcock and Danny Sullivan and me.
You look so young.
I was. It's a hell of a long time ago, man.
Where was that, Mike?
What?
What year was that?
Around, I think it was around 2000. Yeah, it says up on the top of the picture, 2000. We put on a washboard concert out there for 28 years, starting in 1983, and this was after one of the washboard concerts or something where we were all hanging out and drinking lots of beer, having great times. That was a hell of a festival.
Doesn't it
What
sometimes
do the
sound weird to say
badges
something was
say?
2000 was a long time ago?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
yeah, it's getting to be a long time ago. Jerry died in, I think 2009. Peter died in 2019, and Danny just last year.
Well, there's some more of them here, so it's coming.
Mhm.
Oh
When
boy,
was that?
Nice stickers.
yeah. That was 1999 at Sacramento.
What is the pass that's on the gentleman's forehead?
It says Washboards International,
Ah,
and I'm no gentleman.
Let's
As
get
most
that
everybody
straight.
knows, I'm not a gentleman.
Yeah, you're
Not
good.
kid ourselves.
That picture was taken in a venue called Freeway Gardens. It was under a huge performance venue underneath the elevated freeway that runs right through Sacramento, and it was a great party place, and because it's tarmac floors, and nobody cared how much booze was spilled or everything, and it just seated probably 4,000 or 5,000 people. and a huge bar at the back, the band up in front, and it was a wonderful venue. And I'm wearing my Connecticut shirt.
I
a
would think
different one.
I would think that the Mustache organization was the largest employer of washboard players in
Yeah, well,
probably the largest employer of banjo players in world history, and maybe even tuba players.
I think you're right. And if it hadn't been for Joel, Washboards International and all these washboard concerts over a period of 40 years never would have happened. Joel and Jerry Sacco.
All right. Well, then I was pulling some of Billy's videos out, and I found this one of the New York and the New Jersey guys. Can you hear that?
Not right now.
Can you guys hear it?
Nope.
No.
Okay, hold on.
I think that was the Denver club exiting the stage.
All right, let me stop that. Let me try one more time. Share sound. Okay. Now
There
can
it
you
is.
hear it?
Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Gim's not on today because he had a job.
Sudden stop.
Guys.
They wanted to hold up a sign.
Well, I thought they were pretty good.
I was trying to figure out where I was sitting because I was with the New York gang there on that stage.
Well, they have.
I must have been off to the stage left there.
That's where I was.
This was at Carnegie Hall, was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
2011.
Well, they have. Let's see.
The date of the Carnegie Hall was what year?
2011, October 9th.
2011, October 9th. And what anniversary was that?
50.
50th.
And there were 55 musicians on stage.
50 and 55 on stage.
Yeah,
and a few waiters and bartenders in the crowd, I might add.
yeah. McBride was out there in the audience doing his waiter
And
thing,
Wolf.
and Wolf and a bunch of other people.
Yeah, bunch of others.
So this must be the New Jersey band because this follows right after. Can you hear that?
I think that washboard player is Bill Dern playing Joe Turner's washboard.
It's a medley. There'll be a red hot time in Lake Percy, New Jersey, when they hit Hindenburg tonight. All the way from Germany, you sent her to us. And on the side was written, New Jersey, your bus. There'll be a red hot time in Lake Percy, New Jersey, when they hit Hindenburg tonight. This is a very sad song. Who put the snatch on the Lindbergh? Baby, was it you? Oh, was it you? Little baby Augie, playing his little doggy, never done nothing to you. And after Daddy crossed that great big ocean, was that any way to show your devotion? Who put the snatch on the Lindbergh? Baby, was it you? Oh, was it you? It wasn't you.
Who put the snatch on the Lindbergh baby?
Yeah.
I mean,
Who was what's the name of the shark banjo player from New Jersey?
Franny Smith.
Yeah.
Annie, the hat was driving Franny crazy.
Hey,
The ball kept hitting his mustache. That was funny.
Dick, I think I have some programs from that night around here. If you don't have any copies of the program you want it for your project, we'll get in touch this week and I'll send you one.
Oh, that would be terrific. Yes.
It lists all the musicians in a little short biography on all of them. I think there were something like 8 washboards and 7 or 8 tubas and 7 or 8 trombones, and the rest of that 55 was all banjos. Some of them
Were
have best
gazillion.
friends are banjo players.
It was freaking scary.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a different perspective than you wonderful musician guys. Tom and I were in the crowd amongst some other people who used to work there. And there were people who literally were in tears with the memories of the fun they had at the New York club, in particular the Boston club, Point Pleasant, Cape Cod. They were literally in tears because the music brought back such memories to them of the 60s and 70s. And just as it's doing to me right now, and I've watched this stuff, and I was there, in New Orleans for 3 years or whatever, for ages, but they were literally in tears. The emotional hook was so deep. And that's something that I don't know, Dick, if you understand maybe, but it's the music bound people together, but it was fun. There was such fun, and we all got tired, I'm sure, of working our shifts. I got tired. It was so much fun as being a waiter and bartender that got tired of that shit, you know. And I'm sure that, you know, the even playing, as you musicians love to play, but it got to be a job at some point. But the people, the customers had so much fun that that's what tied us together. That's what Joel brought fun to the world. I would love to have more fun in the world now. And
Yeah.
we got a fun shortage right now.
Well said,
So
Kent.
anyway,
That was great, Ken.
Well said.
You guys keep going. I got to run upstairs because Emily's invited some people over, and I'll just, when you guys finish, it'll end on its own. See you next week.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks again, Tom.
next up.
Thank you. I waited in line at your father's mustache.
I have one of those.
Yep. It was a great escape from reality for everybody, and you met new friends and people. And it had magic with it for the time your life was truly under your nose there.
Well, what Kent said is really has a lot to do with why we're all here today. I mean, it's been a lifetime association of good friends, a few crazy ones, and whether you're a musician, bartender, waiter, doorman, or whatever, I don't think really mattered a whole hell of a lot, because we're all here and we're all parts of the same organization that's survived for what, 60 years.
Long time.
And in one way, it screwed us all up because
More than one, Barry. More than one.
But one of the ways is we could never find another job that brought the same feeling. I mean, a lot of us have had wonderful jobs as we went on from the mustache, but they weren't like the mustache.
That's the hard part. I've had other jobs in the restaurants and so forth, but it was never what I had in my mind and the way I like to work and run a club. It just wasn't any place else like that. It's just what a camaraderie we had among ourselves. It's sort of magical. When I'm out and I get good service and everything, I go over and talk to the waiter or waitress. You know, I just want to tell you, I worked in a French Quarter on the Bourbon Street for a long time, and I know this business real well. I just want to tell you what a great job you're doing tonight. The good service and everything. The food was great. It makes them feel so good. Have someone say that to them. So,
but did they dance on the bar for you?
Where's the bar? I want to dance.
I think one of the things for me that has made this association so viable for so many years and everything, it started a little prior to the mustache, but mainly developed during the mustache days and years, is putting smiles on people's faces, entertaining them, making them laugh, taking them away from their whatever cares they had of the day. And all the years that I've been doing music since the mustache closed, that's always been one of my biggest memories and things, and the things that I've enjoyed is I like making people laugh. McBride sure knows that. It's most of the rest of you, but it's just been a long, wonderful journey with a lot of wonderful people.
And you know, because of the mustache,
thank you.
I've had the opportunity to play in a lot of nightclubs on Bourbon Street and around New Orleans, but none of them where I knew the service personnel as a best friend, and none of them have a Zoom call weekly 50 years later.
That's true.
I tell people I got to go take my Zoom call. What's it about? I give them a brief history. What? We still get online and chat and laugh.
Yeah, none of them on my calendar has YFM Zoom call, and it's on my calendar every week.
There you go.
Yeah.
Show up.
Yeah, got to write it down, so I'll be sure to be on time.
I want to recount the first time that Tom and I came to New Orleans, just to put in perspective. New Orleans, never worked at another club, but Tom and I got to New Orleans. We crashed our van. We had to get a job. The scout got us a job at Your Father's Mustache, and it was only about, I don't know, that was in 1972, right after Thanksgiving. We got a job there, and then we had the Christmas party. Rod, you probably remember this, and David, you do too, and probably Barry and the rest of the guys were there. But anyway, we had the Christmas party, and Tom and I were new there. We barely knew anyone. We had the party. I think we closed the club that night, and suddenly people went over and they stuffed tablecloths under the doors and under the cracks. And
Right.
we had the team joint rolling contest and the team joint smoking contest. And I thought, I found my people. And Bob Osborne brought in a joint about the size of a large cigar.
Home at
And
last.
he had a wire that came from the stage to the bar. And I thought, I've never had a job like this. And I was 20 years old, so I hadn't had a lot of jobs, but I thought, I've never had a job like this, where the rules were you could do whatever you wanted to do as long as you did your job. And Joel gave us that freedom to do that. From my perspective as a young, very inexperienced human being on this planet at age 20, but I couldn't believe that I actually got paid to have fun.
And drink
And not every second was fun. It was a pain in the ass sometimes, but I just couldn't believe. And then it said, leave the keg open, drink the beer, after hours. I mean, what kind of play? And you're right. And then Roger, when I talked to you in New York in 2011, you said it spoiled us for the rest of our lives having jobs. And I went, holy shit, absolutely. And I never had put it together till 2011 in New York when you said that I had been looking for that same level of fun and I never found it.
No.
Well, it's sad, but that's the truth, And when we had that Christmas party, I remember Bob Osborne walking in with this huge joint.
Oh yeah, it was as big as my arm.
We had that's right. I forgot we didn't want the smoke to go out on Bourbon Street, so we put tablecloths around the doors and everything.
I didn't imagine that. That was true. And I thought, I found my tribe. I found my people.
The tribe is here.
Home again. Finally.
And that was fun. And we did nothing wrong. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't legal in the French Quarter in 1972, but we didn't do anything wrong. We had so much fun. It was just more fun on top of fun on top of fun. And
I think that was true at all the clubs, Kent.
Yes, I worked in Denver that time we visited you for, a few shifts.
Yeah.
But it was the same thing. It was different people and different layout and stuff, but it was the same thing. It was fun. And the music, wonderful musicians. I mean, Steve Martin once said, you can't be depressed listening to the banjo. It's impossible to do, and so the banjo music drove it, and the songs and the interaction. And the whole thing was built on fun. And to me, I mean, there's not near enough fun in the world right now.
Another nice thing, Kent, is
for sure.
whether you were a waiter, a bartender, a doorman, or a musician, you could go to any of the clubs anywhere in the country and work. So if you wanted to travel around the country for a while and spend 3 or 4 months here or there or whatever, you could do that. And it was great.
Yeah. That's what made it great. I'd get calls a lot from an employee. He wanted to go from, say, Denver to New York, or, right? Do you know this manager over here? Yeah, no problem. I'll give him a call, and then just go in and ask for him. You'll have a job when you get there. And it's just, it's like some sort of magical thing going on,
It's like a fraternity or a sorority,
Yeah.
Once you were in, if you were good enough to get in, which I'm not sure what those qualifications were.
I think it's more than a fraternity or sorority, Kent. I think it was a big family.
It was a society. Yeah, it was a family. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a family.
How did you get hired? What was it like? Did you just walk in and apply, or what went on?
Well, I know how we got hired. There was a gal named Barbara Schultz who knew Roger and David, and she took us and said, hire these guys. And they did. It's strong references. How about that?
In Denver, Dick, I happened to run into an old friend from high school on the street one day, and he told me about the mustache. So I went down and applied. Jerry Sacco was the manager. And one of the things on the application was list your nicknames. And my nicknames ran all the way around the application. Jerry didn't want to hire me because he thought I was too crazy. And in Denver, we had to start, if they hired you, you had to start, you had to work 3 nights for nothing to see if you fit in. And if you fit in, you were hired. If you weren't, bye-bye, hit the door, Jack. And I don't know if that was true in the rest of the clubs, but it certainly was in Denver.
I have to leave, guys. I'm so happy to be here. I love hearing these stories. They really are, they're wonderful. And Joel was just so immersed in love for you all. So I'll see you next week.
All right, Emily.
Bye, Emily.
Right.
I go to. See you all later, guys. Next
Okay, guys.
Harry.
Have a good week.
Before you
Hey, Mike,
go,
Chris.
I wanted to ask you if you went in and they gave you 2 days to find out whether you fit or not. How did that take place?
Well, yeah, I started in Denver as a waiter in March of 1970. You had to work 3 nights at no pay and full uniform to do all the crazy bullshit, as the waiters did, serving drinks and doing the can and roll out the barrels with empty beer kegs over your heads and throwing them out in the street, the traffic and stuff. And I was lucky enough to be crazy enough to get hired. And it's been a 55-year journey with many chapters, stories, and experiences. But that's the way it was in Denver. I don't know about anywhere else. Night, Darryl.
Okay, more next week.
Night,
All right.
everybody.
Good to see you. Nice seeing you, Ken.
Hey, good to see you.
Take care.
Wonderful
Next week.
stories, guys.
More stories. We got a lot more stories.
Oh,
I got a couple of good Roger stories. Well, maybe I'll tell them before I die.
Well, that's how culture is passed on, is through stories. So the more stories, the better. Yes.
Hey, remember the TV series that said there's 1,000 stories on the Naked City?
Yeah,
In the Your Father's Mustache, there's 1,000,000 stories. I'm just
at
telling
least,
you.
at least a million, kid.
This could be a mini series for
Hey,
like
hey.
5 years.
I like that.
What time did they close? Did you guys close? 2
When you
o'clock
get in
the
New
morning?
Orleans, no, in New Orleans, we closed when there weren't any customers because the bars were open 24 hours a day. Could be. So there were times we closed at 1 in the morning because there was no customers. Time we closed what, at 4 in the morning? Good
Yeah.
Lord.
That was great. That was great for when you work, because you could get off work and go out and have a couple of drinks somewhere.
In Denver,
10 or
we were not
12.
open on Sundays. And the liquor laws at the time said we had to close at 2 o'clock in the morning. The rest of the week.
Got to pay attention to the laws.
New Orleans was different.
Yeah,
Didn't you work at a hotel up in Aspen or Vail?
I'm sorry? Ken?
Yeah. Did you work at a hotel? up
No, I
there?
worked. I was food and beverage director of a hotel in Boulder, the Hilton Harvest House.
yeah, that's
Which
been torn
is-
down now, hasn't it?
Well, it's being torn. It's either being whatever. I mean, but when I was there in '78, that was the biggest. Talk about a happy hour.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
New Orleans during Mardi Gras was busy. When I got hired there, I was in charge of the bar, and we had this Friday afternoon club. The first time we had it, we had a 5-acre beer garden, we went through 5,000 cases of beer in 2 hours. Had 42
Gee.
bartenders, 20 doormen, 22 bouncers, and 22 cocktail waitresses, 20 bouncers, and 10 beer runners. And it made anything the only reason I was able to deal with it because I was trained at a place in New Orleans called Your Father's Mustache. But it was the second biggest liquor outlet in Colorado besides the Denver airport.
Wow.
It was, you
That
can't
place was
believe
phenomenal.
when I ordered for the well, remember Roger you ordered to get the maximum discounts? I ordered 100 cases each of the well.
Oh,
Before
wow.
football. We had, and I was there 78. We were 2 blocks in the CU Stadium, and they were decent then. But we had a 350 room hotel and a beer garden, and we would go through 100 cases of the well in 10 weeks of each kind.
Wow. Crazy.
Never made
$50,000
it up there, but I sure
days.
heard about that place.
Yeah, $50,000 days when beer was $1.50 and a mixed drink was $2.
Yeah.
Jeez.
What was the name of that place?
That was called the Hilton Harvest House, which Newsweek did a story on and said this was the world's largest happy hour. They had a Friday afternoon club. It's called the world's largest happy hour. And it made Mardi Gras look tame.
Yeah.
And for 4 hours on Friday afternoon the FAC club was renowned. And I thought, what the fuck am I doing here? Pardon me. But it was insane. There was also some drugs sold in Boulder. I mean, I was hired to take over there, and the first night I walked in, nobody knew who I was hired as the new food and beverage director. But they had a problem with drugs. I went to the bar and I said to the bartender, "What do you got?" And he says, "Well, I have a Bud, Michelob, and this and this and this." And he says, "I have some really good cocaine." And I thought, "Oh shit, what am I doing? Why did I take this job?"
Another job.
Yeah, what a job! Cleaning that up was.
All right. I gotta go,
pretty
guys.
crazy.
I'll see you next week.
All right, Roger. Good to see you.
Oh, great seeing you, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, Kent, it's good to see you again. Thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, thanks, everybody. Great stories.
Right. Hey, thanks, Dick, for putting together what you're putting together for the Harvard thing. And just big part of the program is fun and banjos.
And
it certainly is. I have two questions. Did I hear you mention that Joel had developed a conference of banjo players where you had hundreds of banjo players come?
I don't think so.
I misheard.
Carnegie Hall was a big one, but I don't know.
Carnegie Hall had something like 35 banjos, Dick, but other than that, no, I don't think he ever did.
I see. Yeah. Okay.
But I could be wrong.
Yeah. And Ariel, you mentioned Boulder. Did you work in Boulder in those days?
No, Boulder. I left New Orleans in the Mustache burned down in 1975 in New Orleans.
Oh, I see.
And then I went to work at another restaurant, a couple of restaurants down the street, and then I got transferred to Denver in 70. I moved to Denver in 1977. Then I moved to Boulder in 1978. So that was way after the Mustache was all dead.
Yeah, because I'd spent the summer of 1958 in Boulder, and there were a couple wild places there. One
there were still wild places.
Sink.
Probably.
Oh yeah, the Sink's still there. Sink is still there.
Sink is still there. Probably Tulagi's, Dick.
Tulagi's is gone, but the Sink is still there. Was the Blue Note there? The Blue Note was on Bourbon Street. It's now a strip club. But
Tulagi closed, did it?
I'm sorry?
It did Tulagi's last?
Tulagi's closed.
Tulagi's has been closed, but it was a big rock and roll.
Oh, it was. Yeah. The Eagles used to play there.
Yeah, I played there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Played there several
you
times.
played where the Eagles did. My God,
not
Mike.
with the Eagles, but at different times. They had a lot of bands. My first memories, first band I went up there to hear was a band called the Astronauts from Boulder, a surfing band. It was before the Eagles and all the rock and roll stuff came about. It was surfing bands and things like that. And I was in one of those bands, and we used to go up there and hear the Astronauts all the time.
That was big. Linda Ronstadt played there back when the Eagles were the Stone Ponies. When they were her backing band. Yeah, that was
everybody played there.
Oh yeah, that and the Glenn Miller. Yeah, there was a lot. Boulder was a big music town, and they had Caribou Ranch.
Yeah, that's Netherlands.
Yeah, that's where I lived in Netherlands.
Yeah, I remember your Octagon house.
Yeah, 7-sided passive solar.
Yeah, I spent 10 weeks in Boulder the summer of 1958, the best summer I ever had.
It was a great place.
Taking courses that would have been impossible at Notre Dame, I managed to take them easily at U Colorado, and I had a lot of free time to spend at Tulagi's and all the other places.
Oh yeah, it was a great place. Still is. But Dick, Boulder's gotten expensive. The average house in Boulder's about $1.3 million now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, the People's Republic of Boulder. I got to sign off, guys. Place. Kent, Dick, it's good to see you guys.
Hey.
Yeah, good to see you,
Michael.
Thanks.
I'll try to send you Dick, I'll try to
Cheers,
send you a couple of
everybody,
things.
and will we meet again before Christmas?
Well, yeah, I'll be on next week.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll try to. If I don't have a doctor's appointment, I'll try to. So
yeah.
I'll try to send you a couple of things, Dick, about Carnegie Hall and the mustache things that I have. Um, more recent days than early days, but I'll try to get that off to you in the mail this next week.
Okay, guys, nice to see you all.
Take care, y'all.
hey, nice to meet you, Dick. Thanks for doing what you're doing at Harvard. Joel, for wherever he is, will appreciate it, and we do too. So
Yeah,
thank
it's
you.
a story that really must be told because I had two other classmates die this last month. All were very big deals on Wall Street in the industrial world, but they never had the impact. They're long forgotten.
Hey, let me tell you one last thing before I go. I was at a thrift store near my house, and I said something, and this lady who runs it, she's close to 80, and she works there. She manages it, and they raise money. They sell stuff, and they send stuff to Africa. And she said, well, where did you do this? And I said, well, I worked on Bourbon Street in New Orleans in a place called Your Father's Mustache. And she went, no way. She said, I used to go to the one in Denver. And her words were, it was the most fun I ever had in my life. That's what Joel did. He brought people fun.
Yeah.
You know, there was a time years ago, I had a friend of mine who went to the Berkeley School of Business with the guy Ray Kroc, who started McDonald's.
Yeah.
And one of the first things in this class they had to do was say, what business are you in? And everybody went around the room, I'm a plumber, I'm this and this and this. They got to Ray Kroc, and they said, what business are you? And he was the last one. He said, I'm in the mommy relief business. I'm not in the hamburger business. I'm not in the milkshake business. I'm not in the Coca-Cola business. I am in the mommy relief business. I give people the opportunity, the moms, to go get some food for their kids cheaply, inexpensively, and fairly nutritiously so they don't have to cook tonight. I'm in the mommy relief business. Joel was in the fun business. And fun raises our vibrations as humans. People walked out of Your Father's Mustache in a way they were different people when they went in, almost all the time. They were happy. I had never seen as many smiles in my life as I saw every night, 5-6 nights a week in New Orleans. Nobody, unless they were so drunk they were stupid, nobody ever left Your Father's Mustache without a smile. Thank you, Joel Schiavone. He brought fun and smiles to the world. And the world is a better place because Joel created a place for us nuts here to help people smile more.
I believe that for sure. That's how it was.
That's my closing statement, Dick.
Yeah. Yeah, the idea that it would be, even when you get to be I'm 87, to have the memories that you've shared, that people said it was the greatest happiness, most fun place they ever was. Yeah.
Name me a place right now that you can have more fun with your clothes up.
There isn't.
Yeah, I rest my case.
Yeah.
So work with Tom, work with Mike to get any pictures or any data you need and stuff. And let's get Joel the due he deserves for giving us the venue to bring happiness to the world.
Yeah. That's important. Yeah.
It
That's
is.
critical.
So thank you, Dick.
Yes, thank you. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
All righty.